This is Hoodies. Almost dropped my cup. Word. Alright, let's do it. Ready? Let's do it. Welcome back to another dope session of Hoodies the Podcast. I'm the host of Garbage Sheedy, coming at you live from the Skill Suite. Maybe not so live, but we coming at you, man. Let's put one in the air for Hoodies the Podcast. Word. Listen, man, know the deal. My condolences go out to anybody who's lost a loved one today. You know what I'm saying? Or recently. My condolences if you've got a family member who's, well, I don't want to say my condolences, but I send some warm energy out to you if you've got a loved one who's sick or just have gone through a procedure. Wish you speedy recovery, some warm, good energy to them. And again, my condolences to the family and friends and all the followers or subscribers to a particular belief of the now late, great, elder Neely Fuller Jr. Neely Fuller Jr. is responsible for, hold on, I should have had this ready. All right, Neely Fuller Jr. is responsible for this book right here. I don't know if you can see it much. But this is a book written by us back in 2016 by Neely Fuller Jr. It's called A Compensatory Counter-Racist Code. Neely Fuller Jr. has stood on this concept for as long as I've been into his content, right? If you know, you know, right? And this is the belief. If you do not understand white supremacy, racism, what it is and how it works, everything else that you understand will only confuse you. And that's probably the dopest way to explain it. It's one of those things, either you get it or you don't. If you don't get it, you'll spend most heavy conversations saying, nah, I don't think it's, nah, they wouldn't do, nah, come on, you really think they would, you know. We've all had those conversations. But shout out to the legacy of elder and now ancestor Neely Fuller, brother elder Neely Fuller Jr. So right now, moment of silence for the great elder. Word. Real quick again, the name of this book is called The Compensatory Counter-Racist Code. Just the same, man. Shout out to anybody who's got a born day today, whether you were actually born today. Well, you're still born today. I keep doing that. But if whether you were like literally born this day, today, or if you've been around a while, you know what I'm saying? New life, more life. I salute you. I salute everybody, man. And also, I don't want to forget. I'd like to also send out my condolences to everyone who's still being affected by the LA fires. You know what I'm saying? Heart and my heart and warm energy I'd like to send to you. Shout out to our brothers and sisters also over in the DRC, and that's the Democratic Republic of the Congo, who's being slaughtered and exploited for their natural resources. There's this, I guess, gang or group of folk called M23 who's being funded by, who's being used by outside forces to exploit the Congo for its natural resources, one of which being a substance that's a natural resource called cobalt, right? And without cobalt, we wouldn't be able, it's an important ingredient, if you will, when it comes to creating smartphones, our MacBooks, you know what I'm saying, our laptops and electronics and things of that nature. Cobalt. Also, rubber is another natural resources in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, right? And they're being exploited for those natural resources and other natural resources. In fact, Africa, period, is abundant in natural resources, right? There are people who are still experiencing war in the Ukraine, people still experiencing war, You know what I'm saying? Between Israel and Palestine. And then there's various other wars that aren't being talked about in the media or in the news or whatever. You know, there's a government or some sort of leader or entity being taken down as we speak right now. I'm almost certain of it somewhere right now. So excuse me. It's my little makeshift handkerchief. But shout out to black seed oil, sidebar. Taking black seed oil, while I may get a little runny nose here and there, or maybe sniffles here and there, that last maybe a day and then it's out of here, right? As opposed to, you know, my counterparts are getting like full on colds. This isn't a brag or anything. And I'd like to think that it's black seed oil because it eliminates mucus that's kept me for the most part from really getting all that sick. You know what I'm saying? So try it, black seed oil. It's bitter, but that's those are the things our ancestors took. They took something called bitters. Granted, it wasn't in oil form, but they would take things like that to help fight certain ailments. Dig what I'm saying? End of sidebar. But yeah, shout out to anybody who's going through some sort of war, some sort of conflict. Maybe it's a conflict within yourself. Dead ass, you know. Shout out to folk who's walking around fighting battles that we don't know nothing about, you know. Shout out to the ones again who are brave enough to walk away from a situation that no longer serves them. For having the balls to walk away because you're outside your comfort zone. You know, shout out to everybody who's got boundaries and things that they did just ain't gonna stand for. Shout out to you. You know what I mean? And you know who you are, and it's up to you to use some discernment in terms of what's worth fighting for or not fighting for, if you will. Word. So how's everybody doing, man? You know, me, I'm good. I'm great. I'm good and I'm great. You know what I'm saying? And I hope the same for y'all. If you're not, I believe in you. You'll get it together because what are your choices? What are your choices? Stand there. Just take it. Admit defeat. Come on, man. You know you're not built like that. And listen, if you are, why don't you starve that part of you? Starve the part of you that wants to sit there and just take it. Go forth and handle that shit. Whatever it is. To the best of your ability, man. Dead ass. You know what I'm saying? Hey, salute to your efforts. Salute to everybody. So, enough of me talking. We came here to hear something, right? So let's go ahead and hear something. Word. Let's do it. So I would also like to send my condolences out to anyone who's lost loved ones in the plane crash. Well, with the collision that happened in D.C. with the Black Hawk helicopter and the airplane, right? I'm not necessarily sure how something like that happens. You know what I'm saying? From what I understand, the Black Hawk helicopter was, for the most part, at fault. There was a pilot that I listened to who gave his analysis and his opinion in terms of what happened. And he says the pilot or pilots of the Black Hawk helicopter did have visual, but it was on the plane because this is like low on the runway where planes are landing. So, you know, when planes are landing, there's one plane here, there's a plane out there that's getting ready to land, and one after that one, and so on and so forth. So according to the pilot, you know, the one who gave the analysis, according to him, based off the recording, he analyzed it and says that there was a certain term that the Black Hawk helicopter made. It was, I think it's called visual separation, something like that. Don't quote me. If you know, comment on it. But he gave some sort of command to let those whom he communicates with that he had visual. He was good. But what happened was he had visual on the plane after the one he collided with. So he saw the one after, but not the one closest to him. And then there was an impact. It's heavy. I just want to say my condolences to anybody who's affected by any of this bullshit that's popping off today. You know what I mean? And those of you who are bugging out because of the new president. Granted, there's pretty much nothing, because that's religion and politics is just just two of those things that people are going to feel the way they feel. So I'm not even going to touch that. Maybe later. But anyway, so real quick, I want to thank you all for your likes, subs, and shares and your comments. And no, I'm not getting ready to end the pod this fast. However, I would like to talk about comments, right? Say the thing about comments, the comments that viewers make. First of all, I'm extremely grateful when folk leave comments. I love it. But if, I said if, right? If I had a choice in the matter, which I don't, but if I had a choice in the matter, I would rather folk make comments about a specific thing in that particular episode. And it's not to say that some people don't do that. There is one pod I made about the diaspora and diaspora wars and how stupid I think that shit is. There are folk who was, word, true, you're right. I'm from the continent and this is what pops off. So you're right. And I'm not saying that I like comments that like the content. I don't care how you feel. You know what I'm saying? At least when you comment, at least I know what it's about. You feel me? But then there are comments like this one. This comment was made not too long ago and on my very first pod. It was about 7 years ago. And that particular pod, I believe the title, it's been a while. The title is 100,000 black folk outside your door. Meaning, picture this. There's 100,000 black folk. Okay, and these black folk have tried voting, both the federal level and the local level. They've tried prayer. They've tried everything. They've tried holding candidates accountable, which I'm sure is pretty difficult to hold federal politicians, like the president and stuff like that in Congress, accountable. And I admit, if you got town hall meetings where you can go see the local guy, mayor, whatever, you can go there in droves to these town hall meetings and let them know how you feel about the job they're doing, whether they've made good on it, how you feel about it, and I'm gonna vote your ass out or whoop-de-whoop. But you've tried all of that. Hey, listen, you voted for Brother Barack and thought a brother being in there would change things, right? And you've tried, and now you're fed up. I mean, you're done. You're fed up. Now imagine, you got 100,000 black folk outside your door waiting on instruction from you. Boom. What are you going to tell them? What are you going to tell them? Right? And the comment was this. You sound like you need a hug. Now this person, that's my pop. That's my pop. It's my old man. Pop. What are you talking about? That's a heavy, to me. How about, is my content? Sure. And maybe it's not the same. Maybe it's not heavy for you. But what do you mean you sound like you need a hug? Help me understand how a comment is speaking to the episode. And if it is speaking to what part, where, what do you mean? If I had a choice, I don't. But if I had a choice, I would rather viewers be specific in terms of what the fuck they talking about. What are you talking about? There was a lot said in that episode. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot said in there. That's what, and granted, I know I don't have control over how people perceive things or comprehend things even. I get that. That's if most people are even comprehending it, because of course there's a difference between watching something or hearing something or even reading something and being able to comprehend it. And I'm not saying my old man can't comprehend. I really don't know what to make of the comment, right? Then there's another one. probably my most recent one. Then there's, this one in reference to the last episode, The Enemy Within, right? What do you mean there? What do you mean I'm not talking about what I know? And I'm only talking about what I hear. That's true. That's just the half truth. That's also my pop making that comment, by the way. That's a half truth, Pop. That's a half truth. Sure, I talk about things that I hear, have heard. Look at what I do for a living. Look at what I've been doing for over 10 years. Matter of fact, 10 years is just as an entrepreneur. I've been cutting before that. Look at what I do for a living and have been doing. Look at what I do. All I do is listen. I can't help but hear. And some things are interesting enough for me to, right before I turn on the mic and the camera, to go do a quick Google search, and boom. It's just so I get a little bit more clarity in terms of what I'm talking about. Right? So sure, I do talk about things that I hear. That's true. That's factual. But you trying to tell me I don't talk about what I know? Were you triggered by something in that episode? Sure. Sure you weren't, triggered maybe? Because because I have no control over how people comment. I get that. It's not lost on me. But this is another example of how, if I had a choice, if I had a choice, I'd rather the viewer, if you're going to make a comment, can you be specific? Because what does that mean? A lot was said in that episode. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Which part? If I know you, it's probably about the political stuff I said. I put stuff on the screen, videos. And if I'm not sure about something, right, I'll say that. I've been extremely intentional about stuff like that. If you've been watching my content, you know that. So yeah, what are you talking about? That's a half truth. Come on. You know what I mean? Listen, we could have two different POVs about the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Things may be one way in your world. And when I say your world, your peers, people you work with, your lady, family, friends, other family members, whatever. And said thing could mean something in your world, but not necessarily in mine. And then vice versa. I love you, Pop. Can you be specific? You know what I'm saying? What does that mean? And the other one about you need a hug, that's dismissive. Hey, comment the way you wish. You know, I ain't got no choice. No choice in the matter. But that's dismissive. A lot was said. That was a heavy piece. A lot was said in that episode. You sound like you need a hug. Like, that's it? That's your comment? Real deep. Real deep, man. Yeah, real deep. If I had a choice, and you all know the saying, or we all know the saying, that if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. Word. Shout out to Marcus Jordan, Michael Jordan's one of his sons. Damn, homie.
Hey, you guys good? Yeah, we're trying to. My car's a little stuck right now. I see that. You want to help us? We're gonna try. Huh? We're gonna try. All right.
What happened?
What happened? How'd you get on the tracks, man? All right, good. Help us try and reverse this thing out.
Well, hang on. You are stuck.
Come here. You know the trains come by right now, right? No, I know. That's why I'm trying to get the fuck up out of here. We thought we were making a right, and I fucking turned onto the train tracks, apparently. I'm trying.
But yeah, we're not getting back in the car right now, okay? The reason why, so...
Do me a favor, keep your hands out of your pockets,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Keep your hands out of your pockets.
There's nothing in my pocket.
That's all, I'm gonna pass you down real quick. Put your hands up there,
Oh, man, you know, bro, I'm Marcus Jordan. I'm Michael Jordan's son. Okay. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just trying to get home, and I made a wrong turn. Okay, and clearly, we would just like to get our car off of the fucking train tracks,
It's
which
true.
we were
I
not
can
trying to be on.
confirm.
I mean, I'm just saying, if there's 6 of us, and we throw this thing in reverse.
Well, I've already got concerns for your level of impairment anyways, okay? So that's why.
Why?
Because I can smell alcohol coming from you, and you're on train tracks, okay? So
Come on, man.
just listen to me. That's why I don't want you back behind the wheel anyways, okay?
I'm fine behind the wheel. I just would like to get my car out of this.
We'll deal with that after this, okay? We'll deal with that after this. But that's why I had to get you out of the car, okay? Because I hear spinning tires, I hear slurred speech from you. You're driving on train tracks.
I'm not slurring anything, and I'm
okay. I'm letting you know. I have concerns. Okay?
well.
For
I
your level of
appreciate
impairment
that.
Driving a vehicle, I can't let you back behind the car and drive a vehicle.
I appreciate your concerns.
Yeah, I don't want.
But
you to get
I
hurt.
am not inebriated.
Juliet,
I'm not
635
anything that
550
cannot drive home.
90.
Michael Jordan, if you don't get your shit together, come on, fam. That ain't a good look. That's not a good look. Sure. Everybody's got demons. Based off the vehicle you got, you don't look like you short on no type of money. You know what I mean? So with that said, that means you got some resources available to you. You use it wisely, man. No judgment, just not calling you bad. Well, I guess I am if I'm telling you to tighten up. But I mean, come on. Real quick, let me share something with y'all. Real quick. I feel like I'm in story mode real quick, right? I remember when I was 16, right before I got my very first job, right? I was sitting on a stoop on my maternal grandmother's stoop on 68th and Langley. It's 680 South Langley. I ain't gonna tell you the address because folk are stupid. Besides, it's got a gate around it. It's on the south side of Chicago. You wouldn't want them problems anyway. But I digress. So I'm sitting on the stoop. There's 2 dudes there. There's one standing up. Well, both of them are standing up and I'm sitting down. Both of them are waiting for my Uncle Marty. If y'all know me, y'all know I call him Uncle Brother because he's more like a brother than an uncle. But anyway, one of them's talking, right? He's talking. He's like, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? The white man ain't gonna get nobody no job, you know what I'm saying? Ain't hiring niggas, man. Psh, man, you crazy, man. Right? Now I think that brother had not too long ago gotten out of jail, prison, whatever. I don't necessarily know for how long or what for. So I'm listening to him and he's talking to the other brother and they both waiting on my Uncle Marty. I'm just sitting there just chilling, right? So not too long after that, I opened up the newspaper. I'm sitting on this glass table in my grandmother's living room. So I opened it up. I'm 16. I'm looking to get a little gig. So I knew that the classified ads was like somewhere near the back. So I ain't had no experience at nothing. So I saw this one, the little boxes on the newspaper. So something along the lines of need a job. And of course I saw that and I called this hotline, this number. So I call them. They told me about some jobs not too far from where I stayed because they asked me if I was driving. I told them no. They asked me where I lived and was able to tell me how to get there. Now, the restaurant they gave me not the number, but the address to was called Bonanza. Bonanza's Family Restaurant, right? So it was over on either 71st or 73rd and Stony Island. It's been a while. I can't remember, but 71st or 73rd and Stony Island. So anyway, fast forward. I remember the man was on the phone, sound like an older gentleman, a brother. I remember him telling me, don't use no slang when you walk in there. Dress professional. Of course, I didn't know what being professional was. I was 16. I didn't know nothing about professional. And what I wore, You know, what I wore to my interview or to talk, what I wore to go get this gig was the same thing I wore the previous summer when I graduated 8th grade. Damn, nigga, you graduated in the summer? Yeah, I graduated in the summer. Well, most of y'all graduated in the spring. All right, because my mom was on everything but my studies, so I had to do summer school in order to graduate 8th grade. All right. So anyway, and what I wore was some hard bottom shoes, some black slacks. I wore a white shirt with black stripes. Anyway, now I'm pulling up to Bonanza. I walk in, and I remember the guy on the phone also told me to use yes sir, no sir. So that's what I did. So I woke up in there, see a brother, light-skinned brother. I almost said red bone. That's probably totally inappropriate to talk to reference a light-skinned brother as red bone. And I've only heard that being used towards women. So let's say light skin. That felt weird. Anyway, so this light skinned brother's in there. So I ask him, I got a little smirk on my face. How you doing, sir? See, I use sir. How you doing, sir? Are you hiring? He looked at me. He said, can you work hard? Yes, sir. Can you be on time? Yes, sir. So that's me. I can be on time. Then you're hired. Repeat that again. I walked in there. I asked them if they were hiring. This brother asked me 2 questions, both of which I said yes to. Well, yes, sir. To. Can you work hard? Can you be on time? Yes, sir. Right. And then he hired me. And then he went to get to his office to get an application for me to fill out. He hired me before I even filled out the application. What do you think I'm thinking? I'm thinking about the dude from the stoop. And mind you, I was thinking about him as I walked in. Right? So you already know I'm thinking in my mind, that nigga don't necessarily know what the fuck he talking about. You know what I'm saying? Looking back now, he may have had a couple things working against him. See, because remember I said that he had just recently, I think he had just, if I remember I heard him say, he had just recently gotten out of jail or prison or whatever. I don't know how much time he spent in, and I don't know what for. And this is, see, the year before I graduated in summer school, that summer was 89. I know that because for my 8th grade graduation, I went to see Do the Right Thing, the Spike Lee movie. And remember the theme song, Fight the Power? It starts off, 1989, a number, another summer, right? So that was 89. So I went my 9th grade year, and then that following summer is when I went looking for the job. So this is 1990. So this is 90. So I don't know what type of programs they had available for felons. Because some other felons will get out and sometimes start their own business, landscaping business or something like that. So I don't know. But so yeah, I'm thinking that brother don't know what the hell he was talking about, right? Now, if I had listened to that brother, if I let that discourage me from even trying, you know what I'm saying? If I allowed what he said to get all up in here and then ultimately get all in my heart and get all passionate about it, and I walked in to that, turns out, an interview with that kind of energy on me, I may have been defensive. I may have had a particular, disposition about myself based off what I heard that brother say. If I had listened to that brother, I never would have got that job. If I didn't say, man, whatever, man, I'm gonna try anyway. Yeah, whatever. And if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. So look, before we go any further, check this out right here.
Why is Trump making such a loud outcry against DEI despite it being a relatively powerless program? What about it poses a threat to him and his base?
There's
the base of the present government led by Mr. Trump is the working class, the unemployed, and the unemployable white class, as well as the lower middle class, probably even the middle class whites, who feel threatened by any real competition coming from any other racial or ethnic groups. And since the largest racial or ethnic group in the country, people could say it's Hispanics, but no, most of the Hispanics in the country are not citizens, so you can't say they're competition, because they could do what they're doing right now, put them on a plane and fly them out. They can't do that to the Black American population. So we are the primary competition for white male Americans. And so the white male Americans, you've created a problem for the white working class and the white underclass, but you want to make them think that blacks have created that problem. So you attack DEI as though that was an instrument that gave blacks an advantage over whites. And that's really what it's doing. They know that the people who have profited most by DEI is white people. But they don't know that because the people they're trusting is telling them just the opposite. If you want to find out who's getting the preference in the jobs, it's still white people and primarily white women right now, right? You want to find out who's getting the food stamps, it's white women. You want to find out who's the majority on welfare, it's still white people. But they don't want to accept that about themselves. You really have to show them that. They're told that black people are getting all these advantages because of DEA. They're being given jobs they're not qualified for, what they don't deserve, and that's why you're unemployed. Because they don't want them to know you're unemployed because we've sent all of the factories overseas to get cheap labor.
Facts.
And that's why you're unemployed. But rather they're going to say, no, you're unemployed because this DEA is giving black and brown people an advantage that puts them above you.
Shout out to brother, elder, Professor James Small, who I find to be pretty knowledgeable about a thing or two. And so even if you don't agree with what he said, even if you don't agree, right? Real quick, I did do a Google search earlier. Google ain't the end all be all. Never said that. Google is not the end all be all, right? I always say that Google is a great place to start. When we're talking about like research, it's a great place to start. Start there. And then if you're on Wikipedia or something like that, and you scroll all the way down, a lot of times they've got what's called hyperlinks. It's in blue, and you click on that and it'll take you to an article or maybe a YouTube video or this or that. Trust me, somewhere along the lines, it'll lead you to a book where you can read and further your knowledge about said thing, right? So I admit right now I'm on surface level, right? So, for example, DEI, who benefits the most, right? White women have been the primary beneficiaries of diversity, equity, and inclusion, other known as DEI programs in the United States. And this has been true in hiring, promotions, and leadership roles, right? It's also been said, because remember, I want to think it was last podcast, and I talked about how DEI sounds a lot like affirmative action. Even with that, white women have received a larger share of job opportunities in fields where that were previously male dominated. You understand what I'm saying? So all across the board, white women have secured majority of the promotions and leadership positions intended to increase diversity. You understand? So now just what I just read is corporate DEI initiatives. Who benefits the least? How about that? To see who benefits the least from DEI. And according to Google, right, black people and other underrepresented groups have been the least to benefit from DEI. Start with a Google, read it yourself, and you may even disagree with that. And that's what's up. Listen, it's not lost on me that you could have read something that's contrary to what I just read. And if that's so, then that means what I just read was contrary to yours. Whatever. You just read. But you get the point. So it's not lost on me. So I ain't about to sit here and be saying that if you got information that says other than what I just said, that your information is false and that you're wrong or whatever. Maybe someone else did a different study. Maybe they know somebody that knows somebody. I don't know. That also rings true for books and articles and research of different kinds. It's the same across the board with everything. You know what I'm saying? One person, I've said this before, one person could read the same thing you read, and that author of that book may have had a different perspective. Not necessarily sure how or why or whatever, but that's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? But if people could keep that in mind, you know what I'm saying? Keep that in mind without getting so worked up and emotional when they hear information that's different from theirs. You know what I mean? I think some people will refer to that as cognitive dissonance. But I wish people would keep that in mind. And I get it. If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. Because a lot of us, I say us because we're all connected, which includes parents and big brothers and sisters and uncles and things like that. When y'all at the crib watching the news, the youngins hear you cursing the TV and cursing this and that and how you react to the new president and this, that, and the third. And like I said, I get it. And I hear it. Right? I can tell from the youth because, even in my program, they'll come and be charged up and, he's trying to, because they're taking on that energy from whatever adult, be it their parents, their uncle, someone older than them. Because now, granted, I'm sure some kids are watching the news, but not a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? And if they are, maybe a lot of them are getting it via social media. You know what I'm saying? Instagram, X, places like that on social media. But on average, not a lot of youngins is really, you know what I'm saying? And even then, on social media, they may see it and the caption will be someone else's POV. And so here they are, charged up, fired up. And then someone in a mentorship role has to kind of, let them know, hey, dig a little deeper. Take the emotion out of it. So y'all taking a break from pushing pieces. Hey, so you were saying that January is a crazy month.
Yep.
Because the media will tell you anything. They'll tell you, like, if they made up their mind that they don't like a person, the media will say that. And then if they made up their mind that they like, huh?
The MLK.
See, I don't think that's a bad thing. Whenever they start saying one thing, dig deeper because there's more to it than what they're telling us. Huh?
Yeah, I used to take about
The way they doing it is kind of funky. Snatch them out of school, they can at least wait till they get home or something. Excuse me. Just gonna speak up, girl. Just read past the headlines, read the articles. I think the passion is dope. Just dig deeper. That's all. So your year's going good so far, so? So if we could just take all the emotion out of it, if we could take all the emotion out of it, that'll probably lead to a comment being extremely vague, yada, 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 whatever. But if we could take the emotion out, see some things for what they are. Some things just are what they are. Some things aren't. But if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. I remember I'm about 19. I'm living in Maryland. I done since moved out my old man's crib. It's myself and my two oldest sons' mom. She's pregnant with our first kid, right? And so I get this job at this country club, Silver Spring Country Club. I was only there for a day, but the day that I was there, the only black folk you saw there were black folk who looked like they had some serious coin. Other than that, it was lily white up in there, right? So I'm in there, I'm being trained, You know what I mean? By this white dude. I think he's the manager or whatever. And it's something about his energy. You could tell that he must have thought that I was white on the phone. Maybe I was carrying some of the jewels that person told me back when I was 16 on the phone with him. So anyway, I come in with training me, and he's training me. So as I'm wiping down because this is, I'm sorry, let me be specific. At this country club, I'm working behind the bar, serving drinks and this, that, and the third. Right? They were training me, and then at some point I would get my license to serve liquor. But I'm wiping the counter, and so I tell the guy who's training me, I tell him, the manager, my girlfriend's pregnant. So, and she's like big pregnant, not like little pregnant. She's big pregnant, like 9 months, and could pop in, I don't know, a few weeks, a couple weeks, who knows, right? Maybe, maybe not. Sometimes it goes over 9 months. So he gave me some rhythm, like, hey, I might need you. What if I need you? If I need you that day, then what are we going to do? And I'm thinking to myself, this motherfucker must think, what? Sir, you really think I give a fuck about my job when it comes to seeing the birth of my son or daughter being born? You fucking crazy, sir? You must be crazy, sir. So, but listen, I didn't say nothing. I didn't say anything and thought to myself, you know what? I hope my son's not born on the day I got to work. Because, I'm out of a job. Because I'm going to be there. Fuck out of here. Right? So, like I said, I'll let it go. So I'm asking him throughout the time I'm there, throughout, this day while he's training me. And I remember some white broad came and needed a glass or something. I think a couple glasses, and I gave it to her. And then the rhythm she gave me is just really funky. You could tell it was on some, what the fuck is this nigger doing here? You could feel it. So anyway, the night's getting ready to end. So I'm asking the manager, when will I work next? Where's the schedule? And not only that, but I had also asked him if he could give me a ride to the bus stop. I wasn't driving in, right? Now this country club, you would turn off the main road and go on this long road, and on each side there's sticks, meaning these tall ass trees, and you go on this long road, and then you reach the country club, right? So I told him, asked him if he could give me a ride to the bus stop when we're done here. He's like, I bet. Right? So he tells me to go in the locker room to look at the schedule. He said it's on the wall. I posted the schedule up on the wall. I go in the office, the locker room, whatever. I believe there was an office in the locker room. Walk with me. But anyway, I'm looking for the schedule. I'm looking at the wall. I don't see it. On the desk there was this little composition notebook. I picked it up, put it down, didn't see it. And I really want to show some initiative that I can find some shit. So I'm taking it a step further. Maybe he forgot he put something on top of it and didn't hang it on the wall. But to no avail, I couldn't find it. Come out to let him know, trying to let him know that, hey, I couldn't find it. But when I came out, he and the other brother, not brother, but the other, I guess his brother, the other white dude, they had left me. They left me. Motherfuckers left me. Never found a schedule. They just fucking left me. And look, I remember at one point during the training, he said something to me. He was like, sorry if the story's a little choppy. But he said something to me like, this has nothing to do with your race or anything, and nothing to do with you being black. But, we check bags. It's just what we do. It's protocols, routine. It's what we do. We check bags. It's not to say that you're doing anything. It's not because you're black. And of course, I'm playing along like, oh, okay, all right. I didn't want to get militant on him like, yeah, but why you want to check my bag though? What's that? I didn't do that. I was like, okay, sure, yeah. So after they left me, I figured, damn, I got to walk down this long road before I hit the main street to catch the bus. If he'd have checked my bag that day, he'd have found a little doobie. Doobie is a little half a joint that I had, wrapped in real good so it wouldn't give off a smell. They ain't have stash cans and stuff like that back then. At least I didn't know of them. So yeah, man. It started raining, thundering, and lightning. I like watching lightning from a window, but I don't like being in it. I just don't like that. Since that movie Caddyshack, when the dude got struck by lightning, I've always had this thing. I don't want to be out there in it. Not that where you can see thunderbolts hitting the fucking ground and shit. But anyway, I ain't got no choices. I need to get home, so I'm walking in the rain. It wasn't raining hard, and I'm smoking my doobie. getting lit up. I lit up and lit up. And then I remember calling him the next day. You know, when do I work? And he says to me, I told you the schedule was in the locker room. I said, it wasn't in the locker room. He said, look, this ain't going to work out. This is not going to work. That was clearly because I was a brother. He wasn't expecting that. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, I experienced it in the Navy. What a ride that was. I'm in story mode. So I don't mean to bore y'all. Let me tell you one more story. I'm in that kind of space right now. Let me tell you one more story. So I'm on board the USS Seattle, AOE-3. It's a supply ship. It's decommissioned now. It's decommissioned. So I'm in the winch shop, right? I'm an E4, an MM3 to be exact, which is a machinist mate third class, which is an engineer. So I'm in the winch shop on the winch deck. If you know, you know. So I'm in there. I'm tinkering with something, probably I don't know, cleaning some gears, maybe greasing some gears, some stuff like that, whatever. So in walks this seaman recruit, which is an E2 in the Navy, in the United States Navy. So he comes in, and because other divisions, not just the division I was in RAS division, which is an acronym for replenishment at sea, and I forget what the E stood for, but that's what we did. That was our job on board the ship. That's what our shop did. Anyway. So he comes in, grabs a tool, and then attempts to walk out. So he comes in, grabs the tool, like I said, and of course I stop him. What the fuck you doing? Hey, what you doing, man? Give me that. And I toss it back in the tool thing. Clang, clang, clang. What you doing, man? Oh, dude, what should fucking hit you, man? I should fucking hit you, man. Who you supposed to be, man? Man, get out of here, man. I should fucking hit you. He kept threatening me. That pissed me off. Listen. I was about 20-something, probably about 24, between 23 and 24, maybe 23 and 25. How's that? What you wasn't about to do was threaten me. You know what I'm saying? I'm in shape. I'm not in the best control of my emotions either. Carrying a lot of shit. Just carrying a lot of things. Right? So after he threatened me for I don't know, probably one time too many, but probably about the third time, that's when I threatened him. Only I made good on mine. Popped him in his mouth real proper get the fuck out of here. And then I pushed him out the winch shop, so much so that people had to come and break it up. That's how serious it got, right? Threatened him. I smacked fire out your ass, little white boy. I smacked fire out you. Yeah, it was a white dude. So after that, he takes... you know what I'm saying? He takes his Kevin Durant has no desire for a reunion with the Warriors. He doesn't want to go back. Oh, there goes that rumor. Anyway, sorry. So he's talking to someone, which is, man, the person he told was a first class petty officer. I was a third class petty officer, of course. If you know, first class outranks a third. This white lady, let's call her Karen. Now Karen and I had some words not too long before the white boy is telling her what just happened. Before that, she and I had previously had an encounter in the computer room. There's a computer room where sailors can use the computers that when we're out to sea. There are phones that you can talk on while out to sea, so you can talk to your loved ones back home. Of course, there's a delay, but hey, something's better than nothing. You know, you can get phones through satellite and some other stuff, right? But anyway, we're in the computer room, and her not knowing that I just got on the computer started rushing me. You know, come on, I need to use the computer, I was like, yo, don't be rushing me. I ain't your slave. That pissed her off, boy. That pissed her off, and it felt good for me to say, get the fuck out of here. Young, man. I was young. I was just on that type of time. So, of course, when he's telling her, Norrington, before I changed my name, Norrington. Ooh, the fucking Norrington. And he told her what happened. He was holding inside his mouth while I popped him. And she walked it up the chain of command, and she wrote me up. Fast forward, I'm in captain's mast. Right? I'm in captain's mast. I'm at captain's mast. Right? Now, remember when I told you some folk came and broke it up? broke up the kerfuffle between me and the white boy. One of them was a brother, right? Who I was cool with too. So, of course, I called him in as a witness, thinking he would kind of, look out for a brother. That was probably one of the first times that I learned that kinfolk ain't always skinfolk. And that probably doesn't apply because I was wrong. But anyway, I almost had it. I almost had the captain convinced that the reason why his side of his mouth was fucked up is because he and I was scuffling with each other and our faces bumped. That's how it happened. I almost had it. Till the brother came and told the truth and said, yeah, we broke it up because Norrington had hit him in the mouth. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was real funky too. There was this chief in there that just got up there and just straight up lied and said some things about me, and we didn't even know each other. So the captain excused him, but ultimately I ended up getting busted down in rank from E4 to E3. Right? Now, normally, if y'all still follow me and I haven't bored you out yet, right? Normally when something like that happens, you get busted down in rank, right? You lose money, and then you get what's called 45-45, right? 45-45 meaning you get 45 days extra duty and you're restricted to boat for 45 days. Meaning we were deployed at the time, right? I forget where we were floating around at. But anytime you pull into a country or pull in here, pull in there, because you're restricted to the ship, you can't go to see the sights, get no souvenirs. You can't go out in town, have no fun, do whatever, or get drunk or do whatever. You can't do anything. You're restricted to the boat. Not only that, but you got 45 days extra duty, which means you're getting a mad early. You're doing odd jobs, or you're doing some odd jobs in the afternoon and some odd jobs when everybody else is getting ready to knock out for 45 days. But I didn't get none of that. I didn't get no extra duty, no restriction, and no money was taken away. I guess somebody was just trying to teach me a lesson because they knew I had wife and kids back home, right? So I get busted down in rank, and then I ended up getting moved to another shop within the same division. This shop is the elevator shop. In the elevator shop are other MMs like myself, right? There was a brother in there. There was a couple brothers, but one brother in there who was headed at that shop. MM1 Cope. MM1 Cope, this machinist made first class. He took me under his wing. Like, yo, man, hey, fam, you need to chill. You need to learn to control your emotions, man, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they do. That's what they do. You got to develop a poker face. You know what I'm saying? Don't let them see you sweat. Don't let them outwit them. Be wittier than them. You know what I'm saying? And he's right. He's right. But he gave me not a list, but he suggested rather some things that I should do to improve my image on the ship. So on the ship, when you're deployed, say there's Native American Heritage Month or Black History Month, or quote unquote, because Black History is every month, such as everybody else's, you know what I'm saying? But just some sort of observance of some sort. I participated in the Native American thing. I got up and I spoke in front of the group, lended some knowledge, told them about the Trail of Tears, yada, yada, yada. Then there was also a talent show, a little talent competition. He was like, yeah, you should get in there. Knowing him knowing that I rapped, and all that at the time. So I got in that. Should have won. I should have won it. I bodied it. Yeah, man, I bodied that. Should have won. I didn't, but it also helped my image. So about just want to say about a good 3 to 2 weeks before we were scheduled to pull into home port, meaning come off deployment and go home, I got reinstated. My chevron, and was an E4 again. I probably technically was still getting paid like one, but I no longer had the responsibilities of an E4. So yeah, I was reinstated. So yeah, long story short, if I had better control of my emotions, none of that would have happened. If I just didn't hit the dude. Violence don't solve everything. Some people do need to be smacked in the mouth, dead ass. Some people need it. Let's just call it what it is. Some people do. And perhaps he did too. You walked into somebody's shop. Y'all deployed. Everybody's a little frustrated, missing family. And you come in there and start grabbing tools. I'm just saying it was a much better way to handle that. I'm an E4. He's an E. Listen, I could have just wrote him up. I outranked the kid. I could have just wrote him up and would have taken great pleasure in doing so. You know what I'm saying? I could have did that. I had options. I didn't have to hit him. And if I didn't, none of that would have happened. And then even after it did happen, I could have, you know what I'm saying, carried it. I could have sunk deeper into this, you know, militant, you can't tell me nothing type of disposition. I could have did that. But I'm grateful that I was able to take in what MM1 Cope was trying to tell me. I followed his lead and his direction. It's a much better way I could have handled this. So if I didn't listen to him, if I didn't get over myself, I never would have got reinstated. You know what I'm saying? And if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. If was a fifth. Word. So before I get out of here, I just want to say once again, thank you for your likes, subs, and shares. I don't think I got any new subscribers, but for the subscribers that I do have, I appreciate y'all. And contrary to how I may have come off, I love the comments. I understand I have no control over how people take in the content or how they comment in the first place. That was just an if thing. If, you know what I'm saying, I had a choice in the matter, then I'd rather folk be, you know what I'm saying, specific about, you know, what exactly are you talking about. Again, before I get out of here, you know, shout out to everybody who's working through some things. I know I keep saying that, you know, and since most of us are also always on our smartphones, you know, since we spend a lot of time on that, go ahead when you got time, go ahead and Google the suicide rate amongst men. Well, it's higher among men. Let's just say that. Everybody's affected by it, but it's higher among men. Which means you just, I mean, listen, I'm by no way am I trying to imply that that's where I'm at or anything like that. But there's some people, and you'll never know what they're going through. You'll never know what they're feeling, what shame they may feel. Some people may feel alone, like they don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Some people can be made to feel insignificant. You know, if things like that can happen if we allow them to. And then one thing that a lot of us don't really talk about is that sometimes we do it to ourselves. Sometimes we're walking around with some imposter syndrome, like we ain't supposed to have, or we ain't supposed to do. We don't have no right being, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And if you need to hear it, man, listen, you have every right to stand on business in terms of boundaries. You got every right to take yourself out of a situation that you feel is no longer serving you. You got every right to change your mind. You know, you got every right to say, no, I ain't doing that. Or, yes, I will. You know what I'm saying? Easier said than done, I'm sure. Which is why I send warm energy out to everybody watching this right now. You know what I'm saying? If this happens to be the day or the afternoon or the night, I wish you all the dopest of days, the dopest of afternoons, and the dopest of nights. In fact, I wish you the dopest of lives. Word up. Thank you for watching. Keep the comments coming, man. Word. I'm the God Rashidi. This is Hoodies, man. Peace. Hey. This is Hoodies.